Karma's next to him, like all the juicy enchanters.
If Denvoxy can play a hyper carry and his support plays an enchanter, it's a Denvoxy
it's
meta.
done. Yeah.
This guy, way back when I first was introduced to him, he always reminded me of like old school Reckless in the way that like he just wants to farm for like 4 items and then to show up and carry a fight. He doesn't want to do anything for 30 minutes other than get 300 CS. That's all he wants to do.
Okay, this is the new and improved version of Denvoxy though.
Yeah.
Because he has been, even when he was playing Soraka last week, he has been extremely active in getting even the most minor advantages for his team wherever he can carry them. So this is the new and improved version. This is volume 2 of Denvoxy, and he's got his hands onto a Jinx. Now, of course, if we look on the bottom of the map for both these teams, we see extremely pokey and push-heavy lanes.
Yeah.
Karma with the Q, Mantra Q, Senna has a bunch of AoE with the Q as well, and the long-range auto attacks, and of course Jinx. We know Jinx to be one of the most malicious pushing AD carry towards the bot side of the map, paired up with the Lulu. Now, this is going to be a battle of who can push harder and a battle of sustain, which is where Viego and Udyr come in. Both are not necessarily known for super heavy early game aggression. Both of these junglers are sort of neutralizers, and they've both been picked into each other, so I'm assuming that both of these two guys are going to want to cover for the bot side of the map whilst their bot lanes are pushing.
Yeah, the big thing though is what Jamada was hitting on, how for Linkers, we expect this to be a pretty fast clear. Udyr is an incredibly fast-paced jungler. He can kind of get around the map. And if you make a position, if you let your position be known, and Udyr's on the other side of the map, he can quickly just bear stance into your jungle, zoom in, steal a camp, and zoom back out. He can be very oppressive, and those little things slowly snowball for him being further and further ahead. Obviously, there's the Azir, and this is what Jamada was talking about. If this Azir does come in, that is always scary as well, because Azir just shuts him down. He makes a massive wall he can't walk through.
And it's not just any Azir, it's Tempt's Azir. This guy played Azir in EU Masters, and I remember I was sitting on my sofa and I was like, oh no, he picked Azir, what a resident sleeper pick for Tempt. And he literally started solo killing people on that Azir, level 3 to level 4. So this guy is a master of a champion, and he will find ways to destroy your day. My biggest question mark for X7 has been MC since week 1.
Oh, no,
I have been, as Kerberos is having a lot of violence towards the top side, I have been a huge fan of MC, and particularly the champion pool that he has with all the AP junglers, the Dianas, the Rumbles, the Nidalees, and all that. And I feel like in this particular team, his role is a little bit different rather than when he was on Riddle and he was supposed to be their main carry.
Yeah.
He's playing with Tempt, who's not also known for not necessarily bringing out too many AD picks in the mid lane to sort of complement MC's champion pool. And MC not only has to reinvent the way he plays, he also has to reach deep inside his champion pool. And right now he's played 3 different champions, and I really hope we kind of see him shine on one of them, and this one is going to be Viego.
Linkus was thinking about coming in bot lane, but that tri-bush ward pretty big for them there. Able to spot him out the side of X7 as Linkus just going to get on to the crab. You can see he's a little bit further ahead of MC in the speed of the clear. MC's only just getting onto his crab. Linkus will reset and be on the map by the time MC's gone back to base. And it's going to be, you know, little things like this just means it snowballs that little bit quicker, especially if it's a more passive game. We were kind of looking at this in the draft, and we were saying for the side of X7, it looks like they've got a relatively passive draft put together. Now, top lane might be proving it's a little bit wrong there. Kerberos is getting mega bullied up here from this Grasp GP. And actually, a fairly large CS lead is starting to accrue for Cassie. So Kerb has to be a little bit careful on that one.
Yeah, and I think especially for Chasey, we haven't necessarily seen too much from him. We've seen him on the Jace, we've seen him trying to be proactive, but all in all proactivity mid lane though.
Coming in with the bear slap, Tempt able to drift away to safety. Really nice movement there. That is Ghost Burnt though.
So Linkus tries to put in a very early gank, maybe potentially taking a summoner spell off of Tempt. Tempt played this very, very well. He knows he has to shove in his lane right there, so Udyr shows up, uses his E, gets away from many sticky situations. But now, the question here is, both of these junglers are relatively not so active in the early game, I would say. They mostly want to make sure that they cover for their lanes. As you can see, top side of the map is pushing for X7 on Chasey, who's actually bullying Kerberos at this point. So you want to make sure that MC is towards the top side of the map, or at least he's keeping vision towards the top side of the map. That's why if we look on the top quadrant of Linkus' jungle, we see a ward placed by MC himself, and of course the Scuttle Crab that's going to cover the river. As for the bot side of the map, because you have the Jinx and because you want to have that continuous push and play not so dangerously, I would say, while you're pushing, you saw that Link has covered the bot side of the map and went towards that Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, was able to move into that particular area for the moment. Teleport comes in from backline just to get back into the lane, and MC actually going to make sure that Temp does get this reset off, although Laser Beam could be a little bit scary and could interrupt there, but I'm quite happy with the wave state right now. Bot lane is a farming Karma as well, so you're obviously going to be a little bit of a slower kind of laning for its moment. Sorry, laning for the moment? I can't speak, Trouble.
Laning for the moment. Yes.
You know what? What are you guys doing at the moment? I'm going to press this button and find out. Boop.
I
didn't press the button.
You didn't press the button. I'll press the button.
There you go. Hello.
Wait.
Mom, can we have NLC? No, we have NLC at home.
Nah,
NLC at home.
Nah, sorry.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Sorry,
Let's get rid of that bad boy. We don't want anything to do with that.
You know what? NLC actually makes it out of groups, or makes it to groups. The EU Masters. Oops. Yikes. So, back to the game. Because the game has slowed down, let's chat a little bit about X7, right? Because they're coming into summer as the former champions of the NLC. They took NLC by storm the previous season. They literally stomped over any opponent they found in their way into the playoffs, and it was a pretty smooth sailing run onto EU Masters, where they fell in the quarterfinals to one of the strongest teams that the tournament had, which was LDLC. So pretty impressive run overall by X7. Now, if we look at what's happened to this X7 lineup from spring to summer, 3 different players have moved, and 3 different players have moved in. So we have Chasey in the top set, who's coming from Challenger Series Korea, which is sort of like a Div 2 to the LCK, and he's been a very promising carry.
Oh, that's gonna be a barrel!
Promising carry, steals blue buff. There you go. Then if we look towards the jungle, we have Haru, who's now on the LEC, and MC has to fill in his shoes, which is very difficult. Kerberos is gonna fancy his 1v1 because he's Mega now right here, but he has to disengage at this point. So MC has been put into the shoes of Haru, who had insane synergy, by the way, with Tempt. The 2 Koreans in X7 were able to dictate the entire early game.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we don't necessarily know how the communication between MC and Tempt is, but again, champion pool-wise, they don't mesh very well, and so far, we haven't necessarily seen too much teaming up. Mind you, Slogyo had to play day 1, because Tempt just got back from Korea last Tuesday.
Yeah, but we did also see from MC and Tempt, you know, at EU Masters, just them not teaming up. We picked it up as like this thing where like, they're going to team up loads, and they just didn't at all.
You meant Haru and Tempt.
Sorry, yes! Oh my word. My brain. I don't know why. You literally talked about all that, and my brain just went, it's because I got caught off by that tweet, Trouble. That's what it is. I'm hurt.
I'm gonna keep moving further down.
Go.
We've got Attila, ex-LEC Worlds, like you name it, he has it, right? And so far, X7 has been putting him on non-hyper carry ADCs down the bottom side of the map. Yes, they put him on his infamous Ezreal last week, which is his favorite champion to play, right? But that still is not a hyper carry. So X7 was putting everybody on comfort picks last week. Now it's time to reinvent themselves, go back to the drawing board, see how they want to play the game, and the members of the team have to adjust. I think the one that has to do the most adjustment is going to be MC. Again, he went from a carry role in Riddle to having to be the front line for X7 and the facilitator. And the question will be, by the end of the split, can he actually do it? Can he step into Haru's shoes and fill them properly?
I'll have to keep our eyes on him over the next couple of weeks to see if he can do so. Getting some pretty nice trades off there versus Demvoxny. And actually, I'm going to get a whole bunch of additional damage off onto Stend, who's not able to reset as the wave is just going to get hard shoved in. Attila quite happy to catch as many of these souls as possible. Currently on 37 souls here, and also denying some farm from Demvoxny. If you look at Kasink, Kasink does actually have a farm leader for Demvoxny. So they have been able to do something with this for the moment, but obviously, you know, the gold not going into Attila does mean that he doesn't quite spike as fast or as quick, or as, you know, doesn't get the option to get as many items as the likes of Demvoxny on this Jinx. With the Lulu in the pocket, there is a point where Demvoxny just gets super scary.
Also, I just want to point out that Demvoxny has chosen Ghost as his second summoner spell over Flash. So I want to see how this will play out, because there's a bunch of things that can slow you down even after you Ghost, right? There's the Gangplank ult, there's Stun, there's Shuffles from Tempt. So I don't know if there was a better summoner spell choice, because who do you really exhaust? No one's going to be playing in your face from the side of X7. So exhaust is not on the table. Cleanse is not on the table because there's not necessarily any hard CC, and then maybe the root that could land on you from Attila. So maybe Ghost was like the go-to right here for the Voxney, so he can get a little bit better distance between his opponents and himself.
I kind of like it. It's like you were saying, there's obviously, you know, what are you actually going to be using here? Yeah. But I actually, wow, he just lost half his health. I really like, you know, the fact that it resets with your passive as well, so you just become zooming. As MC has been caught out momentarily here, not actually going to go down though. Bit of durability patch stuff coming in with the shielding as well. And X7 just going to continue to fire away at this tower, slowly chip away, try and get a couple of extra plates, because obviously, like we were saying, Attila's not got access to as much gold, so if he can get plate gold, that is a big injection to Attila here on this Senna. So that's obviously something to kind of keep your eyes on, keep your mind on. Obviously got the serrated dirt in the inventory, and actually if we do look at the overall kind of the scoreboard in itself, Chasey's got a big CS lead over Kerberos.
Look at mid lane.
Mid lane also a lead starting to accrue. Bot lane's a bit of a weird one because, yeah, technically Kasing does have a lead, but isn't quite, you know, there as Chasey.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
He's going to get slammed back. He's going to orange. He's going to flash. Curve actually losing quite a lot of health. And this is how much harder it is to pull off these kind of tower dives. He was low, but the resistances just came in with the cleanse and the orange as well. Chasey's okay.
Yeah, and of course he can use his fruit, right, to get straight out of the stun, which means that Kerberos is going to miss a subsequent combo that he has from his ability. So that was really well played right there from Chasey. But he did burn his flash in this particular engage, which means that this could cost him very dearly if, for example, Udi decides to join in on a tower dive towards the top side of the map. But as you mentioned, bot side is going to be the side that MC is going to choose to drop the Rift Herald. He has mid priority, has bot lane priority, then he can use the Herald to push bot and also move on to the Dragon and secure the second one of the game. Again, remember what happened to the Astralis versus Singularity game. You stack up the Dragons, you will force the team eventually that you're playing against to come and fight you, so they stop the soul from going your way. And now we're going to be able to see if it's going to be a mountain or... Oh, it's actually going to be an Infernal Soul, which, yeah, this is going to be very hurtful on the Senna specifically, because he suddenly turns into an Aphelios with Infernum.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty...
Very far
scary.
away.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough either way. Inferno obviously the soul, but most teams don't really want to VC coming up, especially when they're on that like losing side. Well, you want to see it coming up when you've been able to accrue yourself some dragons, 2 in the pocket of X7, and they need to find this comeback. 0-2 on the first week. It's frankly kind of not acceptable from a team who are just... They were our first seed. I mean, technically they are still the defending champions of the spring split. But this is not what we expected out of them. We saw some of these roster changes and went, that's looking pretty good. Yeah. But it wasn't the start they needed. Now, coming in, Ghosts are getting popped. MC is going to get bear slapped down. Polymorph as well. MC, low HP, the Wild Growth for the knock-up as well. And Attila's coming in. Yes, the Cannon Barrage as well. A little bit more additional damage. And now Attila actually starting to output a fair amount of hurt here. But it looks like neither team are going to fully commit here. 14 minutes in, and neither team has found first blood, but Stend has found himself a lot of health missing.
I don't think X7 were ever in any danger. Temp still has his ult up and available. Attila still has his ult and his heal up and available. I don't necessarily think MC was ever in real trouble. Who's in real trouble, though, is going to be the Dusty bot lane, because the 7 members from X7 looking towards the top side of the map, but Jinx is notoriously known for clearing waves so quickly, which means that X7 will have no wave to dive off of. MC is all alone.
Oh, it was the old switcheroo. Temp's going to get bear slapped. Zap, trap, flash away. The polymorph goes down. But there's the Emperor's Divide from Temp into the railgun just to make sure they're shielded up. And X7 get away once again.
I'm just mind blown. I don't know why Buckland did just not chase MC down and actually kill him. He had ultimate available for himself. He had QE. He had everything on the kit of Victor to try and chase MC down, or at least take his flash that MC still has. They changed completely their target. And we mentioned Temp had his ultimate available. He had his flash available. Attila had his ult and his heal available. And yes, everything has been used right now. but the Dragon is nowhere near. It's in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and some of these summoners and all of these ultimates will still be back up when the time comes to fight.
Chasey now in the bot lane got himself the Triforce finished up. You got the Divine Thunder on MC, you've got the Leandries on 210, and Dusty actually not rocking a single mythic item or a completed item at all here, as Voxney has been caught out by a lot of damage. Look at what Attila's able to do. The root's gonna land on to Stend to make sure Voxney doesn't get caught out, doesn't have to burn that summoner spell. But Dusty, every time they have a little trade with the X7 bot lane, they are really losing out on these fights, and that is starting to kind of catch up with Voxney. He has now gone back to base, finished up the Kraken Slayer, and Curb has his Triforce. But even so, it just feels like they're a little bit behind right now, and if you look at the gold lead, you can see that they're behind by 3,000 gold.
But you mentioned it, every time there's a 1 versus 1, X7 are playing the macro flawlessly right now. They know that MC is on towards the top side of the map, they want to take the Herald. What do? They see then Voxney with no mana on the top side of the map, they shove him in, they push him off his tower, they take his Ghost. That means they have the people's advantage towards the top side of the map. That means MC gets to take that Herald for free. Now what you can do in 1 minute and 20 is pop that Rift Herald in the mid lane, threaten to take mid lane tower and mid lane pressure, and then just go slow towards the top bot side of the map, which will mean soul point for X7.
Yeah, absolutely, and you see Dusty are trying to deny that. They're moving in, they're placing vision, they're trying to get some level of control, some semblance of vision in this area of the map, and a lot of wards going down for them. They've got the crab, but will time out before the dragon spawns up, unfortunately, but at least they have something to play around with. Seeing a teleport coming in from Kasing, actually, to clear out this wave here in the mid lane and make sure that they can still themselves keep some pressure, because Dusty, they've placed their vision down, they want to get control of this bot wave, and then potentially look to maybe reset a couple of members in the lead up to this dragon. It looks like it's only going to be Backlund who goes in for the reset. Curb's got teleport, so he's sitting pretty up top side, and here comes the teleport from Backlund, so expect to see some action break out soon.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be where they actually fight for mid lane priority. Remember, always there is in the pocket of MC a Rift Herald. You can choose to put it down, create some pressure, and then move towards the bot side of the map. If X7 choose to not fight this dragon, they don't have to. They have already 2 in their pocket. They can start stacking them, but look at how low this tower is right now. They can use that pressure, get Kerberos to proc his Mechana, so by the time they have moved into the river, Kerberos does not have that available for him.
Well, Curb actually, yeah, like you said, about to Nara, has hit it himself as Temp. Maybe looking for a little bit of damage. The Honeyfruit going to heal everybody up. A Cubs comes in, the flash going to land. Attila flashes out as well, and Stend is already so low. First blood being picked up for Chasey. He's answered back though. Big Emperor's Divide, and 2 kills have been picked up for the side of X7. But Dusty, they're now chasing Temp. Temp's able to get over the wall, use the Sand Soldiers, put a whole bunch of damage as the Heartbreaker comes out from MC. And Voxney's just trying to get these Kraken Slayer procs off, trying to get as much damage as possible. As Temp get hit by the Zap one more time. The Railgun almost finishes up these last 2 members of Dusty. And Dusty, they had control of the river, but they lost the fight when it counted. And the dragon will go over to X7. I need to see that fight again, because it was just a couple of little things were just not played right there, and it went bad.
I'm gonna play spoiler right here. We used to say in spring, this is the Korean show for X7, Harrow and Tempt. This fight was also the Korean show. Look at the bot side of the map. It is Tempt and Chasey, 2 versus 4. They're keeping 4 members of Dusty on their shoulders. And yes, Chasey goes down, but he takes away one of the key components, which is the Lulu that keeps the Voxney alive. So look at this, then Tempt jumps over the wall. He keeps zoning away with his shoulders, while the rest of X7 have taken out Kerberos onto his Na. So there's just no one to defend this dragon, and Dusty have to run away because they just don't have the range to fight with.
I think the critical moment of that fight was actually Kerberos not landing the ultimate. A great flash comes out from Kasing to clear himself of the wall stun. Attila knew he was fine, so he didn't even need to burn the flash. And then Curb misses the ult, and then they get turned onto. If he had chunked Attila, that fight could have turned entirely different.
I am just happy to see that X7 are forming some sort of bond when it comes to in-game play, right? And we all knew that it was the Harrow and Tempt show last year because these guys were playing together. And again, I don't mind if it's the Chase and Temp show, if that means the communication is better and they can play together at that pub, which it looked like it. And then the rest of the three sort of sandwich Dusty together. If it looks good, if it works, then so be it for X7. They're trying to reinvent themselves, they're trying to find a way, and doing it against Dusty with this very promising roster who are 2-0 up in the league is going to mean that X7 are slowly but surely getting back to their old form.
Big pick up here actually for the side of Kasing. He's got the Putrifier finished up with the Moonstone, so buying a bunch of Grievous to his team. Curb, he's actually potentially been caught out here into everything's been thrown down. Curb going very, very low. The cannon barrage from Chasey will follow up, and Ted comes in with a two-man shuffle. MC continues to chase forward, lands himself the Heartbreaker, and Dem Voxney can't do squat. He has to flash towards backline. Backline comes in. MC's now going very, very low. Dem Voxney, he's resetting. He's got the stuns. He's got the chase. He's actually continuing to keep this fight going. The zap's going to land, and now they continue to chase a little bit more. Rocket's going to land, but it's not going to be quite enough. Then Voxney almost goes down, but somehow makes the hero play. But once again, Tempt is coming in on the flank. Here comes the pigeon. Dem Voxney gonna get opened up onto. Tries to jump away, but he will lose his life. Tempt, the flanking king for X7.
Tempt on the pigeon looks like a whole different beast, actually. Pulls the flank twice from the exact same side, and something that should have ended up 2 for 3 in favor of X7, it ends up being a 2-4-7. It was a very chaotic fight. X7 completely overextended right there, but Kerberos is walking in while he's mini now. That means he's that much squishier, and if the root lands like that on you, you cannot jump from the blast gun. MC was exactly onto him, so he couldn't get away. But the funny thing happens here, right? Tempt walks in, really beautiful shuffle. MC will jump in, but he will take Lulu underneath the tower, which gets him so low from that tower shot. And Lulu is just not necessarily that useful when you want to chase in the fight. That means he goes very low, he overextends. That means X7 have to overextend. And you definitely do not want to be giving resets to the Voxne when he also has Buckland around onto that Victor late game. This combo really, really hurts. And Kasing, so why? But again, Tempt TP's back onto the ball quadrant of the jungle, finds the Voxne, and together with Attila, the Qs, and the slows from the Senna, they managed to pick him off.
Absolutely beautiful play there from Tempt, and now we can see the Baron is obviously up, but it's 1 minute until that Infernal Drake. That's the big boss that we are going to be keeping our eyes on, because like you were saying, Attila basically just turns into Infernal. It's hit to Felios Infernal from that center once you get that, and it is going to be super scary to play into them.
I think the most important thing to keep our eyes on are summoner spells. Stand, no flash. Then Voxne, no flash. Buckland, thankfully, will have his up very, very shortly. If we go on the other side, everyone has flash. That's very squishy, except Tempt on that Z. Yes, you don't necessarily need it, but maybe for the shuffle?
They are chasing. Flash actually comes out from Kasing. Chasing has to teleport in. Tempt has the shuffle available as X7 potentially setting up for a big fight here. This could be the defining moment of the game. This soul is so important for all of the team.
Kerberos needs to find things to hit because his Mega Napa has not loaded at all. It's almost halfway there. He needs to get really close. 10 seconds only. He just needs to find something to hit to get that rage going.
I don't think he's going to be able to do it apart from passively onto X7 with these Qs. Dusty, don't want to get this up. Curb actually jumps over the wall there and might find himself in a little bit of trouble as the Dragon gets started up. Watch Tempt though with the Sand Sword just zoning away. Curb comes in for the Gnar. He's looking for it. He's able to find onto Tempt. Tempt has to use the stopwatch. The cannon barrage zoning everybody away. Dem Voxney untouched for the moment. The traps doing him a little bit of work as MC slides in forward. The railgun will shut him down as Dusty are just going to be completely scattered from the fight, and X7 will secure themselves the Dragon, although the laser was close, but not close enough. Infernal Soul to X7.
Again, X7 are playing these flawlessly. Kerberos has to dive into the pit because he has to charge that rage bar to get that Mega Nub, but again, it misses. It doesn't hit anyone but Tempt. Tempt has the stopwatch right there. Get out, doesn't even need the Senna ultimate, and Attila holds on to the button until very late. Every single member from X7 actually survive, and they take 3 with them from Dusty. That means they get Infernal Soul, that means they get Baron, and that means they can get to push 3 lanes together if they so wish.
Well, Baron in the pocket here of X7. They've got Soul, they've got everything they need to set up for this, and we were saying it's the Dem Voxney patch, but he just wasn't even allowed to play this game. He is just, his whole team has been pushed around so hard by X7, and this is the X7 we were expecting in week 1.
Absolutely. I think Tempt has now come back to Europe. He's on a proper schedule. He's popping off. Chasey is also showing us what he can do. He was very promising coming in from Challengers Korea. And then MC finally finding his footing in one game onto that Viego, as well as the X7 bot lane, playing a little bit more of a passive, pokey sort of style on the bot side of the map. On the other side for Dusty, I just haven't been able to figure out what Linkas on that audio should do.
What a shuffle back as Attila's going low. He's able to survive. Look at that shield from Kasing.
That's not
That is
broken.
unholy. Rocket is coming in, and what is that shield? It's like
His entire health bar, pretty
it's like
much.
600-700, I swear. That is crazy.
Again, X7 are going to use the Baron. Yes, they lose. They almost lose a member, Attila, but they're going to use the Baron in the mid lane. There is no pressure, and I'm going back to my question. Like, I don't understand what these Udyr is meant to do this game. Kerber's under a lot of pressure under his own tower. Being mini, he's just so squishy. He cannot even walk up to the
He's
wave.
dead. He is about to get that Narbar up in time. Can he do so? He's going low. He's got the Collector on him from Chasey. And now Tempt and Chasey able to finish this up, take down that tier 2 in the top side. And X7 are just coming alive in this game. Linkas has to jump away as MC was charging up the Spectral more, but not going to pull that trigger. Then Voxney, 2 items. He's feeling it. They're going to jump forward. They've got the red buff. They've got the slows. The flash is failed by MC. Another bear slap should set up for another chase onto him as MC getting opened up onto, but he is so tanky when he's got Kasing to keep him up as the railgun's going to come down.
It's like I'm turning it around.
Shield as MC can't even deal with him. That is Chasey on a rampage with the Collector cannon barrage, and suddenly MC, he was being chased, but he has turned it around. Backlund is on the run. He was chasing as the Predator becomes the prey. X7 just turn it around onto Dusty.
And they have come such a long way. 55 deaths on their first 2 games. The team with the most deaths in the league week 1 are now almost deathless.
Oh, there is the shuffle coming in from Tempt. Curb not even going to have that Narbar in time. An ace for the side of X7. Dex Moxley is up in 3 seconds time, but I don't know if he has a 1v5 in him, but he's going to bloody well try it. Dead, jumping forward. He's got Linkas in his pocket. The town number 1's going to go down as Linkas is popped. The barrel lands onto Den Voxney, and he is collapsed from the side of X7. The tower will fall, the Nexus will be exposed, and trouble. It's our second 27-minute game of the day. X7 are back, baby!
Former NLC champions with only 3 deaths